It was a crisp evening in the quiet meadow where the wise old owl, Oliver, lived in a grand oak tree. Oliver had light brown feathers streaked with white and wise golden eyes that seemed to glow in the moonlight. Animals from all over the meadow visited Oliver for advice, as his wisdom was renowned. One day, a frantic squirrel named Sammy scurried up the tree. Sammy had fluffy gray fur, a bushy tail, and big, curious eyes. He looked up at Oliver with a quivering voice. "Oliver, my nest is gone. I stored acorns for the winter, and now they are all missing. What should I do?" Sammy exclaimed. Oliver's feathers ruffled as he thought deeply. He blinked his golden eyes and hooted softly. "Tell me, Sammy, where did you last see your nest?" Sammy replied, "It was in the hollow of the tall pine near the brook." Oliver nodded. "Let's visit the pine tree together. Perhaps we'll find clues." As they made their way to the brook, they were joined by Bella the rabbit, who had soft brown fur and floppy ears, and Frankie the fox, who had sleek red fur and a sly grin. Both animals wanted to help solve the mystery. When they reached the pine tree, they found the hollow empty. Oliver examined the ground carefully. He spotted small tufts of fur and unusual claw marks on the bark. "These are signs of a raccoon," Oliver said, tilting his head thoughtfully. "But why would a raccoon take your nest?" Frankie sniffed the air and grinned. "Raccoons like shiny things. Maybe they took the nest to get the shiny twigs you used." Bella hopped forward and said, "I saw Roxy the raccoon near the old willow tree yesterday. Maybe she knows something." The group went to the willow tree, where they found Roxy. She had a banded tail and curious black eyes. Roxy admitted she had taken the nest, thinking it would make her den cozier. "I'm sorry," Roxy said, her ears drooping. "I didn't know it was yours. I just wanted to make my babies warm." Sammy, though upset, softened at Roxy's confession. Oliver suggested a solution. "Roxy, return Sammy's nest and help him rebuild another in a nearby tree. Sammy, perhaps you can share some acorns with Roxy to thank her for being honest." Both animals agreed. Together, the group worked to move Sammy's nest and gather extra twigs and leaves for Roxy's den. By the time the stars glittered in the sky, everyone had a warm home and a newfound understanding of teamwork. As they returned to the oak tree, Oliver smiled at his friends. "Remember, every challenge is easier when we work together." The animals nodded, and with the gentle rustle of leaves in the wind, they said their good nights, leaving Oliver to perch on his branch, watching over the peaceful meadow. In the quiet meadow, a new problem emerged as the sun dipped below the horizon. Oliver, the wise old owl, perched high on his oak tree, was joined by his friends who gathered to seek his wisdom. Tonight, it was Melody the songbird who needed help. She had vibrant blue feathers that shimmered in the moonlight and a melodious voice that filled the meadow with joy. But now, she perched sadly on a branch, her wings drooping. "Oliver," she chirped softly, "I've lost my song. No matter how hard I try, the notes won't come out right." Oliver hooted gently, his golden eyes shining with concern. "Your song is a gift, Melody. Tell me, when did you first notice it was gone?" Melody fluffed her feathers. "This morning. I was practicing near the meadow's edge when a strong wind blew through. After that, my notes started to sound strange." Sammy the squirrel, Bella the rabbit, and Frankie the fox, who had helped solve the last mystery, exchanged worried glances. They had grown fond of Melody's songs and couldn't imagine the meadow without them. "Let's retrace your steps," Oliver suggested. "Perhaps we'll find a clue." The group followed Melody to the meadow's edge. There, they saw broken branches and scattered leaves from the strong wind. Bella, with her sharp eyes, noticed something unusual. "Look at that flower," she exclaimed, pointing to a bright yellow bloom nestled among the grass. It swayed gently, emitting a faint, almost musical hum. Melody fluttered closer. "I've never seen that flower before. What is it?" Oliver tilted his head. "That's a harmony bloom. It's a rare flower that resonates with sound. It must have absorbed the vibrations of your song during the windstorm." Frankie's ears perked up. "So, how do we get Melody's song back?" Oliver thought for a moment. "Melody, try singing near the flower. The harmony bloom may release the notes it captured." Nervously, Melody began to sing. At first, her voice wavered, but as the notes flowed, the flower began to glow softly, and a cascade of pure, sweet melodies filled the air. The notes swirled around Melody, merging with her own voice. When she finished, her song was brighter and more beautiful than ever. "My song is back," Melody chirped joyfully, flitting from branch to branch. "Your song wasn't truly lost," Oliver said with a warm hoot. "It just needed a little help to find its way back to you." The animals cheered, and Melody sang a special tune of gratitude for her friends. As the meadow glowed under the moonlight, the harmony bloom swayed gently, adding its hum to the joyous melody. A warm, golden morning greeted the quiet meadow, but trouble was brewing as Frankie the fox sprinted toward Oliver's oak tree. His sleek red fur gleamed in the sunlight, but his sly grin was replaced with worry. "Oliver, something terrible has happened," Frankie said breathlessly, his tail flicking nervously. "The stream near the willow tree has disappeared. It's just gone." Oliver's golden eyes blinked with curiosity. "Disappeared, you say? That stream is the meadow's lifeline. Let's investigate at once." Frankie was joined by Sammy the squirrel, Bella the rabbit, and Melody the songbird, who all shared concern for the missing water. Together, they set off toward the willow tree. When they arrived, they found the once bubbling stream reduced to a muddy trickle. Bella's floppy ears drooped as she looked at the cracked earth. "How will the plants and animals survive without the stream?" she asked. Melody flitted above the dry bed, scanning for clues. "Look, over there," she chirped, pointing her wing toward a pile of rocks blocking the flow of water upstream. Oliver hooted softly. "A dam. Let's see who built it." As they approached the dam, a beaver's head popped out from behind the pile of rocks. His fur was a rich brown, and his flat tail slapped the ground nervously. "Oh, hello," he said, shifting uneasily. "I'm Benny. Can I help you?" Frankie narrowed his eyes. "You blocked the stream. Why would you do that?" Benny's ears drooped. "I didn't mean to cause trouble. I was building a new lodge for my family. I didn't realize the dam would stop the water." Oliver's wise eyes softened. "Benny, the stream is vital for the entire meadow. Perhaps we can find a way to help your family and restore the water flow." Benny's face brightened. "Really? That would be wonderful." The group worked together. Bella and Sammy gathered sturdy sticks to reinforce Benny's lodge, while Frankie and Benny carefully dismantled parts of the dam to allow the water to flow freely again. Melody sang a cheerful tune, lifting everyone's spirits. By the time the sun was high in the sky, The stream was flowing once more, and Benny's lodge stood proudly by the water's edge. "Thank you, everyone," Benny said, his voice filled with gratitude. "I'll make sure to keep the stream clear in the future." Oliver nodded, his feathers ruffling in satisfaction. "Remember, Benny, balance is key. By working together, we can all thrive." As the animals gathered by the restored stream, they shared laughter and stories, grateful for their teamwork and newfound friendship with Benny the Beaver. The meadow once again hummed with life, its heartbeat restored. The meadow was bathed in silver light as the full moon rose high in the night sky. The animals had gathered near Oliver's oak tree for another evening of storytelling when Bella the rabbit approached, her large brown eyes wide with worry. "Oliver, I need your help," Bella said, her floppy ears twitching. "My favorite lantern is missing. I use it to guide me home at night, and without it, I'm afraid I'll get lost in the dark." Oliver hooted thoughtfully. "When did you last see your lantern, Bella?" "I left it near the old stone bridge last night," she replied. "When I went back this evening, it was gone." Sammy the squirrel scampered forward, his bushy tail twitching. "Maybe someone took it. Lanterns are shiny and pretty. Let's investigate," Oliver said, spreading his wings. "The moonlight will guide us." The group, Oliver, Bella, Sammy, Frankie the fox, and Melody the songbird, made their way to the stone bridge. The air was cool and still, and the moon cast long shadows across the meadow. Near the bridge, they found small paw prints leading away from the spot where Bella had left her lantern. Frankie crouched to examine the tracks. "These belong to a raccoon. Roxy might know something about this." "I'll fly ahead and find her," Melody volunteered, taking off into the night sky. A few moments later, she returned with Roxy the raccoon, who looked guilty but determined. "I'm sorry," Roxy said, her black eyes glinting in the moonlight. "I borrowed the lantern to light my den. I didn't mean to upset anyone." "That lantern is very special to Bella," Oliver said gently, "but perhaps there's a way to make things right." Roxy's ears perked up. "I'll return the lantern, but I still need light for my den. Could I build my own lantern?" "That's a wonderful idea," Oliver hooted. "We can help you." Together, the animals gathered materials. Sammy found smooth stones, Bella collected twigs, and Frankie retrieved shiny shells from the brook. Melody sang a cheerful tune as they worked, and Roxy carefully assembled her new lantern with Oliver's guidance. By the time the lantern was complete, Bella's original lantern was returned, and Roxy's new creation glowed softly in the moonlight. Both lanterns lit up the meadow, casting warm, golden light across the grass. "Thank you, everyone," Roxy said, holding her lantern proudly. "Now my den feels cozy, and Bella has her lantern back. It's amazing what we can achieve when we work together," Oliver said, his golden eyes shining with pride. The animals shared a moment of joy under the moonlit sky before returning to their homes, their hearts full of gratitude and light. As the seasons changed and the first crisp breezes of autumn swept through the meadow, a strange sound began to echo among the trees. It was a soft, eerie whisper that sent shivers down the spines of the animals. They gathered under Oliver's oak tree, hoping the wise owl could explain the mystery. "Oliver, have you heard it?" Sammy the squirrel asked, his tail flicking nervously. "The whispering wind. It's so spooky." Oliver hooted thoughtfully. "I have heard it, Sammy. The wind carries many secrets. But this sound is unusual. Let's investigate together." Joining Oliver were Sammy, Bella the rabbit, Frankie the fox, and Melody the songbird. Together, they followed the sound through the meadow. The whispering grew louder as they approached a grove of tall, ancient trees. The air was cool and filled with the rustling of leaves. "It's coming from up there," Melody chirped, pointing with her wing toward the top of the tallest tree. Frankie tilted his head. "Maybe it's just the wind blowing through the branches." "No," Bella said, her ears twitching. "It's too rhythmic, like someone is speaking." Oliver's golden eyes glimmered with curiosity. "Let's climb up and see for ourselves." While Oliver flew gracefully to the upper branches, Sammy scrambled up the tree with ease. Bella stayed on the ground, peering upward nervously, while Frankie and Melody provided encouragement. At the top of the tree, Oliver and Sammy discovered a hollow filled with shimmering, colorful leaves. "These leaves are glowing," Sammy exclaimed, "and they are rustling on their own." Oliver examined the leaves closely. "These are spirit leaves," he said. "They appear only in autumn and carry the voices of the past. They whisper memories and stories to anyone who listens." Sammy's eyes widened. "That's amazing. But why are they here now?" "Perhaps they are trying to share something important," Oliver replied. "Let's gather the others." Once everyone was together, Oliver instructed them to sit quietly and listen. The animals closed their eyes, and the leaves' whispers grew clearer. They told stories of the meadow's history, of animals who had lived there long ago, of great storms and celebrations, and of the balance that kept the meadow thriving. "They are reminding us to care for the meadow and protect its harmony," Oliver said softly when the whispering faded. "We should share these stories with everyone," Bella said, her eyes bright with determination. "That's a wonderful idea," Melody agreed. "I can turn the stories into songs so no one forgets." Over the next few days, the animals worked together to spread the stories of the spirit leaves. Melody's songs filled the meadow, reminding everyone of their connection to the land and to each other. As the spirit leaves fell from the tree and scattered on the wind, the animals felt a renewed sense of purpose. The meadow's harmony had been strengthened by the wisdom of the past, carried forward by its loyal inhabitants. The days grew shorter in the meadow, and the first frost sparkled on the grass as winter approached. Early one morning, Bella the rabbit hopped frantically to Oliver's oak tree. Her floppy ears twitched with worry, and her breath came in quick bursts. "Oliver," Bella cried, "I can't find my winter burrow. I prepared it weeks ago, but now it's gone." Oliver, perched serenely on his favorite branch, blinked his golden eyes. "Gone, you say? Let's retrace your steps and find out what happened." As always, Sammy the squirrel, Frankie the fox, and Melody the songbird joined in to help. Together, they followed Bella to the edge of the meadow, where the ground was dotted with frost and fallen leaves. "I dug the burrow near that old tree stump," Bella explained, pointing with her paw. But when they arrived, there was no sign of the burrow, only a patch of disturbed earth. Sammy tilted his head. "Maybe someone covered it up." Melody flew low, inspecting the ground. "Look, there are claw marks leading away from here." Frankie sniffed the air. "I smell badgers. They might have taken over the burrow." "Badgers aren't usually unkind," Oliver said thoughtfully. "Let's visit them and see if they'll talk to us." The group followed the tracks to a large mound near the edge of the forest. A pair of badgers, Boris and Bessie, emerged, blinking sleepily. Boris had thick gray fur, while Bess's was lighter, with a streak of white running down her nose. "Hello there," Boris said, his voice deep and gruff. "Can we help you?" Bella stepped forward nervously. "I think you might be in my winter burrow. I prepared it for the cold months, but now it's gone." Bess's ears drooped. "Oh dear, we didn't realize. We've been searching for a warm place to stay, and we found the burrow already dug. We're so sorry if we've taken your home." Oliver hooted gently. "It seems this is a misunderstanding." "Bella, Would you be willing to share the burrow with Boris and Bessie? It could be a warm and safe space for everyone. Bella hesitated, then nodded. I suppose we could make it work. But we'll need to expand it so there's enough room. Boris grinned. We're excellent diggers. Let's get started. With teamwork, they dug deeper and wider, creating a spacious burrow fit for all. Sammy and Frankie helped clear out roots, while Melody sang a cheerful tune to keep spirits high. By the end of the day, the burrow was cozy and ready for winter. Thank you, everyone, Bella said, her eyes shining with gratitude. Now we all have a warm place to stay. And we've made new friends, Bessie added with a smile. Oliver watched from his perch, his feathers ruffling in the cool breeze. Once again, the meadow thrives because of kindness and cooperation. Let's always remember the strength of working together. As the first snowflakes began to fall, the animals gathered around the burrow, sharing stories and laughter, ready to face the winter as a united community. Winter had fully settled over the meadow, covering the land in a blanket of snow. The pond, usually a lively place where the animals gathered, was now frozen solid. One chilly morning, Sammy the squirrel rushed to Oliver's oak tree, his small paws clutching an acorn. Oliver, there's a problem at the pond, Sammy said, his breath visible in the cold air. Frosty the frog is trapped under the ice. Oliver's golden eyes widened with concern. Let's go quickly. We must help Frosty before it's too late. Sammy and Oliver were soon joined by Bella the rabbit, Frankie the fox, Melody the songbird, and their new friends, Boris and Bessie the badgers. Together, they hurried to the frozen pond. Frosty the frog's green face was visible beneath the clear ice, his eyes wide with fear. We have to get him out, Bella said, her voice trembling. But how? Frankie examined the ice, tapping it with his paw. It's thick, but maybe we can break it if we all work together. Oliver nodded. We'll need a coordinated effort. Boris and Bessie, can you use your strong claws to make a starting point? Of course, Boris said. He and Bessie began scratching at the ice near Frosty, creating small cracks. Sammy added his efforts, using a sturdy stick to pry at the edges. Melody hovered above, offering encouragement. Keep going. You're making progress. Frankie then joined in, using his sharp teeth to widen the cracks. Bella worked carefully to clear away the broken pieces of ice, ensuring they didn't harm Frosty. Slowly but surely, the cracks spread, and a small hole began to form. Almost there, Oliver hooted from his perch, keeping a close watch on their progress. With one final push, the ice gave way, and Frosty leapt out, landing on the snow with a relieved croak. Thank you, everyone, Frosty said, shivering but smiling. I was so scared I'd be stuck forever. We're glad you're safe, Bella said, wrapping Frosty in a soft leaf to keep him warm. Oliver ruffled his feathers in satisfaction. Today, we've shown once again that teamwork and compassion can overcome any challenge. The animals helped Frosty to a warm, sheltered spot near the edge of the pond, where he could safely rest. As they looked out over the frozen surface, they promised to keep an eye on the pond throughout the winter, ensuring it remained safe for everyone. That night, under the twinkling stars, the animals gathered by Oliver's oak tree. They shared hot acorn stew, laughter, and stories of their icy rescue, grateful for their friendship and the warmth it brought to even the coldest days. Winter's chill deepened, and the meadow's animals had grown accustomed to the snowy landscape. One morning, Frankie the fox approached Oliver's oak tree, his sleek fur dusted with snowflakes. "Oliver, we have a problem," Frankie said. "The main path to the Meadow's food stores is blocked by a huge snowdrift. We can't reach the supplies we gathered for winter." Oliver's golden eyes narrowed thoughtfully. "That is a serious issue. If we can't clear the drift, we'll need to find another way. Let's gather the others and come up with a plan." Soon, Sammy the squirrel, Bella the rabbit, Melody the songbird, and the badgers Boris and Bessie joined Frankie and Oliver. Together, they inspected the towering snowdrift that blocked the path near the old willow tree. "It's too big to dig through," Sammy said, poking the drift with a stick. "It would take days. What about going around it?" Bella suggested, her nose twitching. "Is there another path?" "There's a shortcut through the pine grove," Frankie said. "But it's tricky. The snow there is deep, and it's easy to lose your way." Melody flitted to a low branch, her bright feathers contrasting against the white landscape. "I can fly ahead and guide everyone through the grove. If we stick together, we'll be fine." Oliver hooted in agreement. "A wise plan, Melody. Let's prepare for the journey. Bring supplies and stay close together." The group set off, with Melody leading the way. The pine grove was serene but challenging, with snow up to their knees in some places. Boris and Bessie used their strong claws to clear paths through the deepest drifts, while Sammy and Bella helped pack the snow down to make walking easier. As they ventured deeper into the grove, the trees grew denser, and the snow fell steadily, making it harder to see. Melody sang a cheerful tune to keep everyone's spirits high and help them stay on track. "Almost there," she called, spotting a clearing ahead. But just as they neared the edge of the grove, a loud crack echoed through the trees. A heavy branch, weighted with snow, began to fall. Bella froze in its path, too startled to move. "Look out!" Frankie shouted, leaping forward to push Bella out of the way. The branch crashed into the snow, missing them by inches. "Thank you, Frankie," Bella said, her voice trembling. "You saved me." "That's what friends are for," Frankie replied with a grin, shaking snow from his fur. When they finally emerged from the grove, the Meadow's food stores were in sight. The animals cheered, their journey a success. They quickly gathered the supplies they needed and returned to the meadow, following their newly cleared shortcut. Back at the oak tree, the group shared warm acorn stew and recounted their adventure. Oliver's golden eyes shone with pride as he spoke. "Today, we learned the importance of courage, quick thinking, and helping one another. Together, there's no obstacle we can't overcome." The animals nodded, their hearts warmed by the reminder of their friendship and teamwork. Outside, the snow continued to fall, but the meadow felt warmer than ever. Winter's long nights brought a stillness to the meadow, but tonight, an unusual sight stirred the animals. From his perch in the oak tree, Oliver noticed a faint, flickering light in the distance. As he hooted softly, Bella the rabbit hopped up, her breath clouding in the frosty air. "Oliver, do you see that light?" Bella asked, her ears twitching. "It's coming from near the hill." "I see it, Bella," Oliver replied. "Let's gather the others and investigate. It's unusual to see a light so bright in the meadow at this hour." Soon, Sammy the squirrel, Frankie the fox, Melody the songbird, and the badgers Boris and Bessie joined Oliver and Bella. Together, they ventured toward the mysterious glow, their steps crunching softly in the snow. As they climbed the hill, the light grew brighter, casting long shadows across the snowy ground. At the top, they found the source, a lantern hanging from a tree branch. Below it stood a young deer with soft brown fur and wide, curious eyes. She pawed the ground nervously as the group approached. "Hello," Oliver said gently, landing on a low branch. "I am Oliver. What brings you to our meadow?" The deer looked up, her voice trembling. "My name is Dahlia. I got separated from my herd during the snowstorm, and I've been wandering ever since. I found this lantern hanging here and thought it might lead me to safety." Bessie stepped forward. "You must be freezing and hungry. Let us help you." "But what about the lantern?" Sammy asked, eyeing the flickering light. "Who put it here?" Oliver studied the lantern carefully. "It appears to have been left by a traveler. Perhaps it was meant to guide others through the snow. For now, let's focus on helping Dahlia." The animals worked quickly. Bella and Sammy gathered moss and leaves to make a warm bed for Dahlia under the tree. Boris and Bessie shared some food they had stored, while Frankie stood watch, his keen eyes scanning the horizon. Melody perched on the lantern's branch, singing a soothing melody to comfort the young deer. As the light flickered and danced, it seemed to match the rhythm of her song, creating a magical glow around the hilltop. "Thank you, all of you," Dahlia said, her voice soft but steady. "I don't feel so alone anymore." "You're part of our meadow now," Oliver said with a kind hoot. "And we'll help you find your herd when the storm clears." The animals stayed with Dahlia through the night, taking turns keeping the lantern lit and ensuring she stayed warm. By morning, the storm had passed, and the meadow glistened under the pale winter sun. From the hilltop, they saw movement in the distance, a group of deer searching through the snow. Dahlia's face lit up with joy. "That's my herd," she exclaimed. The animals accompanied her to the edge of the meadow, where she reunited with her family. As she turned to say goodbye, Dahlia's eyes sparkled with gratitude. "I'll never forget your kindness," she said. "You've shown me the true warmth of this meadow." As the deer disappeared into the trees, Oliver and his friends returned to the oak tree, their hearts full. The lantern's light still flickered on the hill, a reminder of the power of compassion and the guidance it provides on even the darkest nights. The meadow sparkled under the clear winter sky, its beauty a quiet reminder of the friendships and lessons shared throughout the year. From his perch in the grand oak tree, Oliver reflected on all the challenges the animals had faced together, and how they had grown closer with every trial. That evening, the animals gathered for a special celebration under the tree. A fire crackled softly, casting a warm glow on their faces. Sammy the squirrel, Bella the rabbit, Frankie the fox, Melody the songbird, Boris and Bessie the badgers, and even Dahlia the deer, who had returned for the occasion, surrounded Oliver, eager to hear his final story of the season. "My friends," Oliver began, his golden eyes gleaming, "we've faced frozen ponds, missing burrows, whispering winds, and more. But through it all, one truth has guided us. When we act with kindness and work together, we can overcome anything." The animals nodded, recalling the moments when they had relied on one another, digging through snowdrifts, rescuing Frosty the frog, and helping Dahlia find her herd. "Every creature in the meadow brings something special," Oliver continued. Sammy's quick thinking, Bella's courage, Frankie's sharp instincts, Melody's songs, Boris and Bess's strength, and Dahlia's resilience. Together, we form a circle of kindness, supporting one another and ensuring our meadow thrives. Melody fluttered her wings and began to sing a soft tune, her voice weaving through the air like a gentle breeze. The animals joined in, their laughter and voices blending in a joyful harmony. As the stars sparkled above, Oliver spread his wings. "Let us carry this lesson forward, not just here in our meadow, but wherever we go. Let us be lights for others, like the lantern that guided Dahlia. Together, we can make the world brighter." The fire crackled warmly as the animals shared stories, food, and laughter late into the night. When it was time to part, they carried the warmth of their friendship with them, knowing their bond would never fade. Moral lesson: the story of the wise old owl and his friends reminds us that kindness, teamwork, and understanding make even the most difficult challenges easier to face. When we come together, each bringing our unique strengths, we can create something beautiful and lasting. If you enjoyed this tale of friendship and wisdom, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who could use a little warmth in their day. What lesson did you take from the wise old owl and his friends? Let us know in the comments below. And remember, just like the animals in the meadow, you can bring light and kindness to your world. See you in the next story.